Okay, I think I'm live. I'm trying to adjust my phone. Saying some errors and some destinations. But listen, let me make this quick live stream. If you all are looking at cryptocurrency, you see that adjust this phone. It has taken a dip today, and today is Harvest Moon. Well, actually, later tonight is Harvest Moon, so definitely we'll be looking at that in the next 2 nights with the Harvest Moon, right? But however, because we do know that the Jewish calendar um, is based off the Harvest Moon, however, the Bible really doesn't mention anything about a harvest moon or blue moon, or even there's only one type of moon that the Bible makes mention of. And I actually looked down and looked at the charts today of Bitcoin all-time highs throughout the year, and see if I saw any correlation to the moon and Bitcoin pricing. Some days I did, some days I didn't. Right? Thank you. So I always try to live stream whenever I'm getting something to eat. But my point is, I want to come here and just share two things with you all. Number one, number one, hello, hello. I see you all saying hello. So I'm just trying to position this phone where it'll stay stable. So I'm not really trying to use my um, click on a lot of things, right? But I want to say this. But thank you for saying hello. And if you come in during the replay, say hello and drop where your city and state is. Um, Real quick, Genesis 1 through 11, right? The 111 code, another 111 code in the Bible. Genesis 1 and 11 talks about creation, right? Creation. And um, what happened with creation was God, see, if we want to start really at the beginning of the Bible, people really need to be taught Genesis 1 through 11 the correct way. But God came up on the scene and the earth was void. It was dark, right? It was in chaos. It was in chaos. It was void. It was darkness about the world. It was chaotic. And God came in and with his creative geniuses and being the infinite power that he is, or that the spirit is, right? Came in and took darkness, void, and chaos and creatively created life, new being, and a recreation of the earth. As we see, people are rioting right now in New York and other areas, California. Nurses are rioting for their rights. Their body, their choice is pretty much the theme, the freedom. People feel like their freedom is being taken away. People are feeling like their finances are taken away. And guess what? They are. They are. I had someone to comment on one of my posts on Facebook. I made the post that the Biden administration, and I'll say this was Trump as well, right? And the government, I'll just say government, because under Trump administration is when the first stimulus started to be distributed, right? So government ensured that they had all of your checking account information. And if you did not have it, you went out and created checking accounts for the first time for people who did not use bank accounts, right? In order to make sure they get their money back on the back end. Want to make sure, right, that ensure that they had your banking information accurate, correct, so they can come in at a time such as this and make sure that your checking accounts, banking information is highly monitored so that the IRS can come in and all of that free money, they're going to get it back on the back end in taxes. Now, someone made this comment on my one of my Facebook posts that where the government cannot tax me because I have my money into my Binance account. They're talking about cryptocurrency, right? So you can't tax that. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, you can, because Binance, Coinbase, Robinhood, um, whatever wallet that you hold your crypto in, Nexo, whatever it may be, whatever exchange you use, you're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year. And that 1099 is going to require you, if you made any transfer of cryptocurrency at any time that you sold it and transferred it back to your checking account, any capital gains is what it's called. Any capital gains, anytime you move money from a crypto wallet and put into your bank account, you're going to be taxed on that transaction. It's called capital gains taxes. And so then I come into the person, I said, yes, they will, because if you are one of the people who like to trade crypto and not hold it, and you made any type of transaction, you're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year. The same thing I tell people that get collections or charge-offs deleted from their credit report. You're going to get a 1099-C at the end of the year for that collection account that was not paid, for that charge-off, it was a credit card debt, and you're going to have to file that money in taxes. They count that as income. So just because it's off your credit report doesn't mean you are free. That's what I tell people. Just because a collection, a charge-off is deleted off of your credit report does not mean you do not owe that debt. You're going to get a 1099-C, and the same thing with crypto. Then the person said, well, I'm pretty sure there are some things that I can do next year that will help that tax liability. And I said, no, next year is 2022. You have to have tax write-offs for 2021 to help you with 2021 taxes. So if this last quarter, we're in the fourth quarter right now. If you don't get a home-based business, if you don't have home-based business tax deductions, and if you have or if you have a business and you don't have an expert, a CPA, a tax professional that can help you understand and apply all of the tax laws that's allocated to you, you're still going to be, because guess what? People are getting CTC right now, child tax credit, right? That's money that they're going to miss out on getting in one lump sum come January the 1st. So the government does everything with an intention, an ulterior intention at the end for their benefit. And if you don't know how to play this game, and I know some people might tell me, well, Queen, I already have a business. I have a lawn care business. I have a healthcare business. Do you have IRS tax experts? I sell weight loss tea. I sell health formula. Do that MLM networking company have tax experts within the business that knows about all of the 475 tax deductions that a home-based business has the right to write off? Does your home-based weight loss tea company does that? Does your home-based skincare company does that? Does your home-based business, see the home-based business I'm in, have the IRS experts right there? A lot of people are going to have businesses, but they won't know what tax deductions they have the right to claim, and therefore they're going to lose out on money, unfortunately, right? And so with that being said, I was looking back in the Bible at Matthew 25, the parable of the gold bags. And I looked at the 24th verse, 25 and 24. And when the master came back and asked the servant with one talent, with one gold talent, he gave him 1 ounce of gold. And he asked them overall, he gave the man a long time to produce more. Right? It's been a long time since we had this recession. Since 2015. It started in 2008. And then in 2015, globally, banks lost 11 trillion globally. So now, 7 years later, the master comes back. The Shemitah, the Jewish calendar, lets us know that we have recession in sets of 7 years, but this time, this one is different. We're going to have a jubilee and a recession, which is going to equal to a depression, right? So after a long time, let's just say 7 years, the master comes back and said, you know what? I blessed you 7 years ago. Have you even doubled the money that I blessed you with? I gave you stimulus last year. Have you doubled that stimulus? Have you doubled that stimulus money? What did you do with that stimulus money? Then I actually had someone to tell me that the gospel is free. And I've been thinking about that. I'm not gonna let the opinion of 1 or 2 people, because I have some people that are very great at supporting on my YouTube channel. I have people that Patreon, great Patreon members, people that Cash App, that support knowledge, wisdom, education, and information, right? So, but I thought about it. I'm like, sometimes I elaborate on 1 or 2 people that just don't know what they don't know, which I should, and I'm going to get out of that. But I did think about that person today, and I said, well, evidently, they must not be Bible readers. They must just be people that have their own. See, that's the thing about Genesis 1 and 11. Let me go back to Genesis 1 and 11. Genesis 1 and 11, as I change my parking position. Genesis 1 and 11 talks about God gave Adam and Eve like an option. He said, listen, you can believe what I'm telling you is good and evil, or you can decide that you want to make a decision on what you want to think good and evil is. When God says, give and it shall be given unto you, in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over to me and given to your laps, you can either believe God's way, or you can take on the thought of doing it your way. And as Dr. Phil will say right here at this moment, and how has that worked for you? You can look, Adam and Eve, they knew the only good and evil that they knew is what God told them what good and evil was, but they wanted to eat the tree of knowledge. They wanted to test their own mind and their own concepts and do things their own way. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that everybody that quotes a scripture out of a Bible you should give to. I'm not saying that. Listen, I've been in some church environments where people were jumping and shouting, paying tithes, and then they would go into a retail store and switch out the tags on brand new clothes and falsify the price of some clothes and switch the tags out. So when the worker at the store, the cashier, would scan the tag, it would show a lower price for that probably $80 shirt, and they would switch out a tag on a $19.99 shirt. And these people were Bible believers per se, Christians, knew the word of God, jumped, shout, prayed, slop, spit, and would go into retail stores and switch out tags on clothes, which is pretty much stealing at a low cost, in my opinion. So I'm not telling you to be naive. I'm not telling you to even give when nothing has been given unto you. Right? But I'm talking to the people that give and then they see results. I'm talking to the people that if they wouldn't have came upon my live stream, they wouldn't have bought that ADA. They wouldn't have bought that Decentraland. They wouldn't have bought Bitcoin. They wouldn't have bought Ethereum. They would have had no knowledge that we're going into a Great Depression. They wouldn't have knew when they save next year on taxes, right? I'm talking about the people that join my home-based business and get $7,000 back of back taxes because had they not known, right? Had they not took action, had they not given, then they wouldn't have been financial. Listen, if you're not in a better financial position, don't cash app or don't give any super chat. Right? You can do it your way, or you can see what the word says about God. God monitored money so closely that outside the temple, when people were giving, he saw what the rich and wealthy had. And there was a woman who gave that said she gave out of her poverty. She gave a 1 mint out of her poverty. And Jesus was watching the giving. He said everybody else gave out of their prosperity, but she gave out of her poverty. He said she gave with a purpose and intent in mind. Sometimes you haven't been taught that you should give with expectation, but that's just how much Jesus watches and monitors giving and his money. For the people say that the gospel is free. Matthew 25, verse 24, he said, I knew that you was harsh, you was strict. He said, I knew you reap where you had not sown, and you harvest and that which you have not planted. Have you all really looked at that scripture? Matthew 25 and 24. When the master came back and asked the servant, why did I have a return on my investment? And he said, I know you harvest in places you haven't planted, and you reap where you have not scattered seed. You reap where you don't sow. You know what that means? That means the man that had 1 talent, 1 ounce of gold, never put his money to work. He only know how to work for money. And that's a lot of people that may listen to me situation. You never have your money working for you. The only thing you know is to get up, get a job, spend your money on things that are depreciating value, and you only know to work for money. Your money has not worked harder than you do. You don't have your money in crypto. You don't have a home-based business for tax write-off, and you're going to wish you did. We're in the fourth quarter. The only thing you know is to get up and get a job. And just like Matthew 25 and 24, you don't even know how to make your money earn interest in the bank. Because last year, 1 out of 4 Americans, right, didn't even have $400 in the bank for emergency. I don't think they'll ever send gold bars to doorsteps. Be careful of those type of advertisement. Gold is too much of a precious commodity to be given away for free. That's why I don't believe in the Nasara Act, right? I do not believe that the government is going to give people gold when they cannot trace your ancestors to see what's gold ever confiscated from you and your family lineage, or your family from your family generational. You're going to have to prove that that money was stolen from your ancestors, and that your ancestors in 1933 turned in that gold. The government is not going to give. That's why the Nasara Act is true, but it's not all. Um, it could be a bit misleading. It can be a bit misleading. Employment jobs will not work in 2021. What do you mean by employment jobs? Chili Davis, hello to you. Hello, everyone saying hello. I almost want to get all the way out of crypto and just do precious metals. Well, what do you mean do precious metals on eBay? You mean buying them or selling them? Because you do know that precious metals do not create cash flow. Listen, I looked at the charts just with Bitcoin today. The largest dip we had in Bitcoin was only 14%. I don't know why people tripping about crypto. I think it's down like 8% today. And guess what? It's just a loss on paper. A paper loss is not an asset loss. You only lose on crypto when you sell. Because when you sell, you lose your quantity too. And then you're selling converted back into fiat currency. Why should we become debt free if our debts will be cleared? That's a great question. Worldwide emergency. I don't. Not all debts will be cleared. Credit cards debts, for example, may be, but just like in credit repair, credit card debts, you might have a reset of your credit score. You might have the debt cleared from your credit, but you still get a 1099 at the end of the year. So the debt is not really clear. You just pay less. But I still think people are going to pay taxes on those debts. I just think it's going to be a way. They have a new bankruptcy 10, for example. You all need to research bankruptcy 10. I think it's going to be a way where it's going to be easier and less discriminatory through bankruptcy 10, chapter 10 bankruptcy. Right now, chapter 7 and 13 only exist. But I think it's going to be less discriminatory. But I still think they're going to find a way to pay and charge you taxes on that debt. It's not going to be just a, you know, boom, this debt is gone. Right? It's not going to be, it's going to be a more efficient and easier way to pay less taxes. But like I said, the government always give people who are not prepared on the back end, because even the Bible says, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So even if biblically they have to eradicate debts, which I think it would be vehicle debt. I mean, just look at a lot of people today with the mortgages are losing their homes. Technically, they're debt free, but they're also asset free. So debt free does not mean, okay, I don't have to pay for my house. You won't have the house. Okay, I don't have to pay for my car. They're going to come and confiscate the car. See, this is what people don't understand. Debt free also means asset free. In the Bible, during Jubilee, right? The people had to work off their debt. They never had assets in the first place. They were laboring, working to pay the creditor back. And the only thing the creditor did was get free labor out of them for 6 years. And that 7 year, right? That 7 year, they allowed them to return back to their home, their foreign land. But guess what? If you return back to your foreign land and you don't have a way to regenerate cash flow, and you don't understand money, and you don't understand taxes. See, listen, people don't understand this. It's designed to where schools are not supposed to teach you about credit and taxes the real way, because schools get their funding from government. So when schools get their funding from government, the government's going to teach what the schools tell us. What the schools are going to teach what the government tells you to teach. That's why they give you a watered down business class. That's why they give you a watered down version about credit. Just tell you to pay your credit on time. They never teach you how to use credit to invest. They never teach you that credit is tax-free money. And when you use it to invest in assets and not liabilities, it's an advantage for you. But as I heard Robert Kiyosaki say, if you don't have a financial education, then you should not be trying to use debt to invest. You got to start with step one. Just get a job will not work. You need a second stream of income. Right, because like I told people, Chili Davis, a lot of people that even got these jobs, their jobs are going to be taken anyway. by machines, robots, and artificial intelligence. Listen, Dunkin' Donuts right now is doing orders by machine. This was set up anyway. This was set up anyway. This was a setup, right? Um, 1099 new income, K1 schedule, investor pay new. 1099 Curtis is the old income. It's just people don't know. 1099 since I've been doing credit has been um always the old income. Since I've been doing credit repair, people get so happy when I get those charges I've deleted from their credit report. And then at the end of the year, they get a 1099 and say, this is your income. You still have to claim it. You gotta have a financial education. I'm on target with. Thank you so much. Research then react. I love that. Yes. Be proactive and not reactive. Research then react. Someone actually told me today, "Oh, I'll get a business in 2023, or I'll learn about the tax laws in 20." I'm like, baby, getting a business. I'm in 2022. I'm like, baby, getting a business 2022. You can't file it for 2021 capital gains. Like, duh. And then, oh, the government can't tax Binance. Well, when you move that crypto gains to your checking account, they are, which most people do, because guess what? That's why I was telling the person that said they might want to hold gold or precious metals. Actually, precious metals for the rich and wealthy is not even an investment. It's just an insurance, because they know that the dollar is able to purchase less, so it's losing its purchasing power. But sometimes for the upper middle class, it's an investment because they're going to cash it in for capital gains. But guess what? Capital gains always come with taxes. Your biggest stealer of wealth. See, I'm going to break it down like this. Someone told me one time, for example, um, that they'll purchase rental property with cash before debt. And I said, well, okay. This is the thing. I said, go ahead and do that. I said, go ahead and do that. I said, but you're paying about 30-40% interest when you do it with cash versus debt. Oh no, if I get a loan from the bank, that's interest rate. I said, well, okay, give me your highest amount of interest rate that you think you will get if you got a loan from the bank to purchase a rental house with. I think their highest number was like 10%. I said, okay. I said, that cash that you earn, the government took 30 and 40% of that in taxes. Oh no, see, I trade stocks. Don't you get a 1099 at the end of the year for your capital gains and stocks trading? Yeah. Have you looked at the taxes you have to pay back? Because you have no exemptions or deductions. Taxes are always higher than interest. So when you take out a loan and you use the cash flow to repay the loan back, the interest on the loan now is a tax write-off. And when you use debt to invest, there's 0% taxation. Because the cash flow you get, for example, from a rental house, right, is used to pay off a portion of the loan. So when you're cash flow positive, the loan itself is a tax write-off. Financial education, home-based business is so important. T. Thompson, hey Queen, I enjoyed your Millionaire Notes book. Oh, thank you, thank you so much for ordering. Also, if you all look on Amazon, my Millionaire Notes is available in Espanol. The Spanish version hit today. So if you have anyone, or if you speak Spanish, or if that's your main language, bless someone with that book. It's available in Spanish. So thank you all so much. What I'm going to do probably when I get home, is just make a link, my millionaire notes, and then that way, you all can just click that link and not have to search for it on Amazon. It'll direct you directly to Amazon. That'll be cool, right? So thank you always for your support. And I want to take the time right now to thank my Patreon members, people that give Cash App, uh, people that give super chats. You will not believe it. There's some people that's been following me for years and haven't given one Cash App, super chat, nothing. And that's okay, right? That's okay. But to know that you are appreciated, to know that the time that you take out, to know that the sacrifice you take out. I was listening to a millionaire today, and he said people think you just become a millionaire and it's just easy. They don't understand the sacrifice you have to make. They don't understand the moves you have to make to get to millionaire status. And guess what? I don't want anyone to ever think that they made me rich anyway if your heart not right. I don't want you to say, oh man, Queen just got their 20 acres of land because I gave her $11.11 super chat. I don't, or $5.55 super chat. I don't ever, listen, I can tell you all this. Like I said, Genesis 1 and 11, the only reason why I really started teaching biblical principles is because I know God's way of getting wealthy, right? Versus my way is more than just monetary gains. It's about my health. It's about not only my health, my daughter's health. My daughter is in perfect health, mentally and physically. I have so much to thank God for, and He gave me the mind. Oh, thank you, Thalamus Deal. He gave me the mind and the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding to start teaching on crypto when I had family members that tell me that was a scam. He shifted me last year from shifting from credit, which was giving me. See, let me tell you all this. I was doing great business and and put my money that I was doing in credit repair into crypto to make my portfolio what it is. I just started teaching heaven's economy and kingdom economy about 3 months ago. Right? Bitcoin was already at 50, 60K. So that didn't help my Bitcoin portfolio teaching it on my YouTube. And I was going to say today that I'm going to just get back to the basics, right? But you know what? The Bible is business. You can't do business if you don't know Bible principles. They're just point blank. And if you don't think the Bible and business are related, then you don't understand the Bible. If you don't think like our digestive system in our bodies, that there has to be an inflow and an outflow. If you think you can just eat all day long and not release some of what you eating, then that's going to have you in a state of bad health. The same thing with your money. And listen, Thalamus Deal, guess what? Today, nobody asked me. God put this person on my mind and told me to call them and see if they had a Cash App. So I called this person and I said, hey, do you have a Cash App? God told me to bless that person. She said, yeah. So we talked. So she texted me back and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I gave her the Cash App. And I think in about 1 hour, God sent me a new customer for my home-based business. And then he sent in Thalamus today with the 777 super chat. And you know what 777 means? It means divine transition. It means divine completeness. It can mean both bankrupt, because when you say I crashed, that means they can mean bankrupt, but it also can mean just the opposite, and it can mean the rest of the Lord. To be in the rest, in the peace of the Lord, and in covenant with God. I tell people in the Bible, right? Numbers mean different things because usually one number can yield two results. And it's one result for the people that obey and take action, then it's the other result for people that don't. And if people don't believe in the Bible concept, which is all about business, then they can do like Adam and Eve did in Genesis 1 and 11, and they can say like Burger King, and you can do it your way. And when this economy worsens, which it will, and when you figured out doing things within my belief system or within what I want to say is right, and not really analyzing God's way, then you're going to be reminded of this Southern belle from Mississippi, this woman who said, you know what, she did try to prepare me for this time. And she did try to tell me about kingdom protection and kingdom provision. It's only two economies on this earth. It's man's economy and corporation, and it's God's. I like to invest in both because guess what? That's what the Bible teaches you to do. That's what the parable of gold in Matthew 25 was all about. Right? I'm just not going to put all my money in crypto and stocks, and I never give unto the kingdom and think that I have the right to go before God and his throne when times get hard, or if man take my job away, and ask him to now bless me. Because one thing about man's economy, they manipulate it whenever they want to. That's including crypto, that's including real estate, that's including stocks. God's economy is never manipulated. Ecclesiastes 7, 11, Ecclesiastes 11 and Ecclesiastes 10:19 said money answers all things. But Ecclesiastes 11 said if you cast your bread on the waters, right, you shall receive, you shall be, shall means richly rewarded. So thank you, Sabrina. She says, so glad she God can trust. Yeah, I listen, I don't play with God. That's something I don't do. I do not play with God. I don't play with the money that people give. I don't go out and buy me a new vehicle with it. All the stuff that you're gonna see me in is gonna come from my investments. Because God said you are blessed to be a blessing. Right? And speaking of that, for you all that give super chats again, as I'm seeing this RV that says hurricane on the back, just know that your money goes to help people that need help, especially those persons in Louisiana during that time. We were able to give like $3,000 out. Yeah, like in real life. See, that's the part people don't know or don't talk about. They just see cash apps coming up, or they just see the super chats, but they don't see what goes out and what's being recycled, right? So just know your seed is helping others to produce a harvest. Thank you, Research Then React. I just love your name. I love that. I enjoy your energy. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for your positive energy. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. We have 80 people live, but I'm just going to log off. Oh, I have a testimony. Let me read this from Queens Bank. Just a testimony. I asked God to help me finish my master in finances. I have been watching you for about 6 months. I'm learning, relearning, gaining gracefully and gracefully. Okay, so are you finished with that, Queens, with your master in finances? Are you finished with that? TD Freelance says, I don't believe why people think Nasara is going to save the world. Neither do I, TD Freelancer, because come on, make this make sense. You think the government is going to give you gold when your family never got gold confiscated for them? The government don't does that. See, everyone in the black community right now that's getting reparations, they prove that their land or that their family was discriminated against. They had to prove that they deserve reparation. The government's not going to just give you that. It's not going to be just a debt jubilee where all of your listen. And even if you're debt free without cash flow, you're still broke. I should have put that in the book, huh? Even if you're debt free without cash flow, you're still broke. You can be debt free today without jubilee happening. All you gotta do is not pay your bills. You're just gonna have to suffer the repercussions of that when that 1099 come in the mail, or when that car get repossessed, or when you lose wherever you're living, or when that eviction comes. There's a lot of people didn't pay rent for months, but now it's time to pay the piper. Now they're getting evicted. What happened in 1933 when our real goal? Is there any remedy within the Bible of our Constitution? Um, Baby, research and react. The remedy is going to be the people that can prove that their families were an act of having that goal taken away. The government will more than likely will have to repay, right? We'll have to repay, but that's going to have to be proven. Even with the Twin Towers, like in 2001, $231 million worth of silver and gold was buried under the Twin Towers. Isn't that something? Right? Isn't that something? Kenneth, I don't give financial advice. 3,000. But if it was me, I'm not talking to you. If it was me, I would definitely invest in a financial education. I would definitely invest in something about crypto. And actually, I have a book on crypto. It's called cashoncrypto.com. That's like $75 investment. I don't know, because there's so many moving pieces to that. See, I don't know if you're saying I have 3,000 and I have a job, right? And I know that my job is secure. Or I don't know if you're saying I have 3,000 and I'm going to need 10,000 by December. Or I don't know if you're saying I have 3,000 and my bills are secured, and I mean essential bills. In the event that my job is taken over by artificial intelligence, but I pay my bills up for the year. That's so open ended. But I can say this: the government is moving to a new currency system, which will be crypto. So if you're not already in it, I would start with reading about it and researching. Like you said, research then react, and then because that will be our new currency system. That will be our new currency system. So to Thalamus, let me say an affirmation. I always say that, who gave the 7777 after me explaining the number 7 of divine transition. Also, the number 777 means land acquisition. I don't know if that's something you want, but in Jericho, they marched around the wall 7 times, 7 trumpets, 7 priests. That's also a code, or that unlocks, or giving that unlocks acquiring land. So if real estate and land is on your rector, is on your target, then I don't know, but I'm just telling you that is a code that unlocks land acquisition uh, in the Bible. Then I pray that I touch and agree. The Bible says, any two touch and agree on in one thing, God will be in the midst. That the infinite spirit, infinite power would give you immediate supply of that, immediate wisdom download in that area if that's something you want. If not, hey, I tell anybody, land and real estate should always be in your wealth portfolio, because that's in my book. That's always in the rich and wealthy portfolio, right? And so, but I pray that you get an immediate supply of what you're giving, that you receive that, and an increase. God never gives you back what you give out, right? And that the favor of man will cause that God also open up your doors and channels for networking. I believe the main reason why people are not rich and wealthy, and why they're struggling financially, because they never network. They always try to do things solo. A small business, I'm gonna have my own lawn care business. You just really hide yourself under a LLC. That's what people don't understand. They form these LLCs and corporations like that's going to be the formula to set them free, when the only thing you did was switch the name of your job and hired yourself and gave yourself a second job, right? To your first job. You just really just gave yourself 2 jobs under different names. That's why I tell people in the home-based business, you need to understand the power of networking. That's what Luke 6:38 is all about. We are in a season of giving as Thanksgiving is approaching. But Luke 6:38 says, men will give unto your laps. How do men give to you? In a networking environment, through connections. Your connections are your come up. Let me say that again. Your connections are your come up. And according to Matthew 25 and 24, when he told the master that you have reaped where you have not sown, you harvest where you don't plant seeds, right? What he was saying was, listen, your money always work for you. Some of you all, you work harder for money than your money is. Listen, your money is unemployed. It's sitting somewhere idle. Your money is not working in a home-based business investment. Your money is not working in crypto games. Your money is not working in the stock market. Your money is not working in Forex, which I'm not for Forex just because I don't have the time to sit and watch trades all day. That's the only reason why, right? If you're making money out of, great, right? If you had that time and discipline, I just don't have that time to be sitting in front of my laptop doing trades all day. But your money is unemployed, just like Matthew 25 and 24. Your money is unemployed, right? Thank you so much. It's my time. I touch and agree with that. It is your time. Let's go. 888. Then I'm logging off. But the number 888 is the series of a new things, the breaking down of the old to build something new. So in essence, it's a new beginning from the transition and breakdown of an old. And so when you give unto numbers that you're seeing, like university, when you see the universe shows you numbers, right? Let me say this: the universe will show you numbers, whether on car tags, through your date of birth, social security card. Numbers are everywhere. Numbers is universal language. And so when you release those numbers back to the universe unlocks what it's supposed to unlock when you release those numbers back to you. So 8 is a new beginning, as October is the 8th month. It's a transition into newness, right? And it's a series of a fresh start. So it unlocks new freedom from you of breaking down of old things, whether that's a mindset, whether that's monetary set, whether that's investing, whether that's starting something new or a new trend. So when you release to the universe what it releases to you, then you become in covenant and agreement with those numbers. And what's promised from those numbers then can be released back to you. What's promised in the Bible. Who created the EIN, LLC, or even the Social Security number? And why in our licenses and our benefits for whom? I don't know what that means. Research didn't react. Maybe you were typing too fast. But I can tell you who created the EIN and LLC was the government. See, people don't understand. United States United States of America is a corporation. It's a big corporation. And the way you speak the language of a corporation is you have a business and you understand its tax laws, right? United States is a business. It's a corporation. You know, it is not, home of the free land of the brave, but it is a business. That's why they assign numbers to everybody. They say, okay, if you want to be in the highest tax bracket, we're going to give you a W-2, which is the highest tax bracket that there is, the highest tax bracket to make money in. And with a W-2, you can get a job and you can use your Social Security number to make money, whether it's 1099 money or paycheck money, right? And according to how you adjust your W-4 determines like how much they're going to tax you. So a W-2, you're taxed 30 to 40%. But then if you flip it and you add the W-2 to a home-based business, you shift on the right side of the money-making quadrant that the rich and wealthy is on, and you can even do this with a job or 1099, so you can get taxed less, so you can keep more of the money that you're laboring for, right? That way, your money is working in your favor. It's working for you and not against you. So if you start a home-based business, even if you are an employee, you get 475 tax deductions or soldiers to fight the government with. You have a job, you only have 9 exemptions. 9 exemptions versus 475 deductions puts more money in your pockets, point blank, right? And so the government they make up all of this stuff. They make up 1099, they make up EINs, they make up your social. They have everything about the government is just numbers and codes. I said this in my book. The person that can understand and apply numbers will either be rich or poor. If you can understand the numbers the way the rich and wealthy understand it and apply it, you can be rich. If you understand numbers like the poor and the poor working middle class understand numbers, you can be poor. If you're a person that only understands numbers and the fact of a job and not adding a home-based business and trading time for money, see, rich and wealthy people trade money for time. That means they charge you for their time. The poor working middle class trade time for money, right? They'll offer their services. But the rich and wealthy, they trade money for time. That means, you know what? I'm going to make this money and I'm going to put my money to work so that I can buy myself more time in my life to do the things that I want to do. And I'm going to understand that my time is valuable. And I'm not just going to give it to anybody and any person. But the poor working middle class would give their time to anybody, right? Or, if they put a small monetary price on, listen, our money is not good money. The poor working middle class never leverage their money. They only labor for it. I say it that way. They never leverage their money. They only labor for it. The rich and wealthy leverage their money. That means, listen, Bill Gates, or was it, no, it wasn't Bill Gates. Who was it that said if you don't know how to make money in your sleep, you'll be working for the rest of your life? Can't think of his name right now. Um, I can't think of his name. The 90-year-old man that does so much in the stock market. He said, if you don't, right? If you don't, actually, you are giving my time. I'm not giving. Yeah, thank you, Warren Buffett. Thank you. I don't give my time for YouTube for free. See, that's the misguidance. YouTube pay me to do live too. You see what people don't know? People perish because of the lack of knowledge. They don't know. I don't give my time to YouTube for free. Then I have people that are Patreons in my YouTube that I do private teachings for. I have supporters that give super chat. Listen, I've been on here 1 hour, and one of my supporters who's going to get blessed back behind this, that's not for free. That's like $77.77 an hour. Not to mention, people that support through Cash App. And I support, that's why I work so hard and I grind so hard to keep myself knowledgeable just for people like this in my inner circle and for people in my Patreon. Now, it was Warren Buffett. Yeah, I do. I mean, I would do it for free. I really would. Right? Um, but you know what? This is what people don't understand. People give you just enough when stuff is for free to have you to pay. y'all think y'all be getting free information on YouTube. People give y'all busted up information, and then at the end, you're going to have to pay out more because you didn't make the move to invest. They tell you to go get an LLC. They tell you to form a Wyoming corporation. Uh, they tell you all these moves, and at the end, you pay more because a lot of times, a lot of this stuff is simple. So many people sleep on the home-based business opportunity for $228, but they'll go and spend $500 on a corporation, and it makes them no money because they don't understand the power of networking, right? They don't understand the power of networking. So rich and wealthy people leverage their time for money, and the poor working class do just the opposite. They do just the opposite. So, hey, I'm signing out, you all. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you all for hitting the thumbs up. But I really want to just thank my Patreon members, my Super Chat supporters. Thalamus is both a Patreon member and Super Chat, my Cash Apps. And on behalf of the people that can't say thank you when your money is recycled and circulated back to those people, thank you as well. And listen, I want to see everybody win. But guess what? That does not mean I'm the person who's supposed to fix your plate for you. I want to see everybody win. But that does not mean I'm the person who's supposed to fix your plate for you. I'm signing out. Listen, magnify your mind, multiply your money. You was created on this earth to have dominion and multiply, right? So multiply your money, manifest your or magnify your mind, manifest with your mouth, right? And maximize your mission in life. The more people you help, the more God is going to bless and help you, right? It's just the law of association, law of attraction, and a law of giving and receiving. Thank you so much, Research Then React. Love that name again. And T.O. Mims, thank you as well. You all have a great, great evening.